this is Rhonda with Purple for Parents Indiana. As we continue our series of short videos for educational purposes, this one we're going to delve into the Lilly Pharmaceutical Company and what I have dubbed the Lilly Effect. So here's a little history on the Eli Lilly and Company. Founded in 1876 by Colonel Eli Lilly, a pharmaceutical chemist and veteran of the Civil War. Headquartered in Indianapolis, it was the first to mass-produce the polio vaccine. They're active in civic affairs, and in 1937, the family started the Lilly Endowment with gifts of stock in the pharmaceutical business. Over the last 80 years, $9.9 billion has been given to 9,792 charitable organizations. In 1971, they became an S&P 500 company, and Lilly helped found the Commercial Club of Indianapolis, which later became the Indianapolis Chamber of Commerce. More recent background includes their score of 100 on the Human Rights Commission Equality Index, a corporate partnership of the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. They're a corporate partner of Population Services International, which promotes and provides abortions worldwide. They're a corporate supporter of the Bipartisan Policy Center, which organized and advocated for the Common Core state standards. Lilly and Company opposed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act in 2015. And they are sponsors of the Indiana Youth Group and promote the LGBT agenda. So 20 years ago, Lilly launched into education via the Counseling Initiative. On August 9th, 2001, Lilly awarded a $15 million grant to pioneer an innovative leadership center called CEL for K-12 education in Indiana at the University of Indianapolis. On May 13th, 2003, CEL, the Center for Excellence in Leadership of Learning, accepted a $11.3 million grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And then again, in September of 2006, CEL received an additional $2.3 million from Bill and Melinda Gates. Then in April of 2008, CEL received additional Lilly funding to expand statewide education transformation. November 2009, CEL received Lilly funding through 2015 to continue expansion of education transformation across Indiana. In October of 2016, CEL provides technical assistance to Indiana schools in the Lilly Endowment Comprehensive Counseling Initiative. And today, CEL continues to work to transform schools in Indiana. So as you can see, the major money foundation that was laid to completely redo education in Indiana. This is exactly what Jennifer keeps talking about, of dismantling the system. You have foundational money from both Lilly and Bill and Melinda Gates that is now controlling education in Indiana. So Lilly's Endowment Counseling Initiative, in 2016, they launched their Comprehensive Counseling Initiative for K-12 students. In September of 2017, Lilly awarded $26.4 million to 56 public and charter schools across the state. Consultants in this initiative are from the Indiana Youth Institute, CEL, Indiana Chamber of Commerce, and the Fleck Foundation. Collaboration with mental health care providers to address students' social and emotional needs. They were to implement the American School Counselors Association Comprehensive Counseling Model, and they were to engage in local businesses and to provide professional development to teachers, counselors, and administrators. Those individuals then were to go back into their schools and they were to train their teachers then. Lilly's endowment continued in 2018. Lilly approved another $12.2 million in a second round of grants to an additional 39 public and charter schools. 9 counties then began working collaboratively within to implement comprehensive counseling. Those 9 counties were Elkhart, Grant, Montgomery, Scott, White, Delaware, Wayne, Morgan, and Whitley. Elkhart County received $3.2 million in counseling grants and formed Comprehensive Counseling Collaborative of Elkhart County. They were even given recognition nationally for their efforts countywide. The 3 transformative goals were to implement the ASCA model, including mental health interventions, and strengthen ongoing countywide collaboration among school counselors. They were to create and sustain networks of community agencies and business partners that worked with the counselors to support social emotional development and college and career readiness skills. The countywide goals included social emotional learning, career readiness, and counselor optimization. How is this being implemented? was both as a whole and by individual districts. They broke out into work teams and guiding teams. They were to purchase Naviance, which was a data tracking system. They were to develop curriculum and programming. Hatching Results was training under Trish Hatch for 3 years. They were 6 days annually training. They were to go for RAMP certification, which means Recognized ASCA Model Program. And as we dig into ASCA, you will understand the alarming details from within. This is Trish Hatch in the Hatching Results. She's a former vice president of ASCA. She worked closely with President Michelle Obama. She was a strategic planning team member, provided consultation and assistance to the former special assistant to Arnie Duncan at the U.S. Department of Education. She's the founder of Hatching Results. She's a national speaker and trainer on the National ASCA model. She's also the author of these particular books: Pilots, Passengers, Prisoners, and Hijackers, Managing Difficult People and Change. That is the one that I decided to order and read. And I can tell you, they take all the employees at the school and they divide them into 4 categories: pilots, passengers, prisoners, and hijackers. Pilots fly the plane, take charge. Passengers are along for the ride. Prisoners are those ones that feel trapped and they're just going to wait it out. And the hijackers are the ones that will not conform to the systemic change that we will see here in a few minutes. She also sits on the leadership and advisory board of the Harvey Milk Foundation. He was one of the world's first openly gay elected officials in 1977. She founded the Supporting Students Saving Lives annual conference. In 2012, the conference aimed at making schools a more welcoming environment for LGBTQI students. Speakers included Executive Director of PFLAG, the President of ASCA, and the White House Associate Director of Office of Public Engagement read a letter from President Obama, and the Vice President of NEA was in attendance. You could see intense and emotional reactions to get past their fears and discomfort and to become visible allies and strong advocates for LGBT students, Vincent Pompey, the conference chair, said. So we're going to take a look at some of the guidelines for the American School Counselors Association. The national model, the framework for school counseling programs, includes outlines, the components of a comprehensive school counseling program. The ASCA national model brings school counselors together with one vision and one voice, which creates unity and focus toward improving student achievement. My question is, what's the one vision and one voice? School counselors participate as members of the educational team and use the skills of leadership, advocacy, and collaboration to promote systemic change. Those are key words: promote systemic change. And Jennifer often talks about the dismantling of our system. And that's what I think they're talking about, promoting systemic change. Use of data to measure the results of the program, as well as to promote that systemic change within the school system so every student graduates college and career ready. The ethical standards had this to say: preamble, all students have the right to be respected, be treated with dignity, and have access to a comprehensive school counseling program that advocates for and affirms all students of diverse populations, including, but not limited to, and it goes on to list all these different things, but it also spells out sexual orientation, gender identity expression. School counselors are to act as social justice advocates. So here's your social justice coming in under the guise of social emotional through the Lilly funding and the Bill Gates funding. Confidentiality was a little alarming. School counselors are aware that even though attempts are made to obtain informed consent, it's not always possible. When needed, school counselors make counseling decisions on students' behalf that promote students' welfare. How many of you would want your students or your child's school counselor making decisions on their behalf if they don't feel that you are going to comply? The ethical standards, they were to comprehensive data-informed program, provide students with a comprehensive school counseling program that ensures equitable academic, career, and social-emotional development opportunities for all students. They're to review school and student data to assess needs, including but not limited to data on disparities that may exist related to gender, race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, and or other relevant classifications. They're to use that data to determine the needed interventions, which are then delivered to help close the information attainment, achievement, and opportunity gaps. And they're to share that data that they're collecting on your students, your child, with outside stakeholders. Responsibilities to the school. The counselors are to provide leadership to create systemic change, to enhance the school to LGBT agenda, collaborate with appropriate officials to remove barriers that may impede the effectiveness of the school or the school counseling program. So remove what barriers? That's a question we need answered. Promote cultural competence to help create a safer, more inclusive school environment. This again is the LGBT agenda. Use culturally inclusive language in all forms of communication. Responsibilities to themselves. Monitor and expand personal, multicultural, and social justice advocacy, awareness, knowledge, and skills to be an effective, culturally competent school counselor. So you're not culturally competent unless you're a social justice advocate. Understand how prejudice, privilege, and various forms of oppression based on ethnicity, racial identity, age, economic status, abilities, disabilities, language, immigration, status, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression. This is exactly what we're talking about. Critical race theory. That refers to critical race, it refers to LGBT, all under social justice, under the social emotional program. 45 position statements. So there are 45 of these, and in our next video, we're going to delve into those. And so for now, we're going to leave it there. We want you to stay tuned as we will dig into those in the next video.